Welcome to the Main Street Moments podcast. I'm Brian.
And this is Kathy.
How you doing, guys? Thanks for tuning in. Okay, these TikTokers are getting out of control at Walt Disney World and Disneyland in California. You know, TikTok is a place where young people, mostly under 30, are obsessed with views and likes and all this kind of stuff, and are doing all kinds of stupid things, challenges, TikTok challenges that are causing all kinds of problems. And in general, TikTok is kind of like the wild, wild west of video platforms online. People on TikTok, which seems to me just you can do almost anything you want. People on TikTok are always pushing the envelope and going over the line and doing things that are just not right. And there's a couple of stories, one in particular with TikTokers, one at Walt Disney World, another one at Disneyland, where they had a trend that they're trying to stop out there that is a trend of the past that has returned, that's endangering the lives of people at Disneyland. And some parents did something that was completely out of control just to make a TikTok video at Epcot Center. And let's start with the one here in Florida. This is the headline. Family makes elevated shoes to sneak their child onto Soarin'. Now, before I go through this, there are height requirements for a reason. Last week we were talking about fat shaming on Tron. That's true, but that's because people they just can't fit on the ride, right? Height requirements are a safety measure. If you don't fit on the ride, you're taking your life in your hands.
Well,
you could fall off of the ride.
You could fall. You could slip through something. I mean, Soarin', you're up high and you're sitting in this chair, and if you're not the proper height, you could easily slip down through the seat and the seat belt.
That's right, and fall off a ride to your death.
My goodness.
So let me go through this story. The latest viral TikTok showing guests behaving badly, and the latest, like this is a regular thing. There was one, Kathy, of these bimbo girls who wear inappropriate clothing.
Yeah, that was a trend.
And they go into the Magic Kingdom so that they'll get a free jersey to cover themselves up.
I think Disney now makes them pay for it.
That's right.
To stop that trend.
Yeah, they did. So, the latest, there's always a TikTok trend that's causing trouble. The latest viral TikTok showing guests behaving badly is by the Kelly fam on TikTok, who showed off the elevated shoes they made for their young son to sneak him on to Disney rides. Dad calls his son our thrill-seeking boy who can't get enough of Disney theme park rides. Dad goes on to say the only problem is the child isn't tall enough for the big rides. He shows a clip of two of their kids next to the height requirement sign at Soarin'. But we don't want to stop him from feeling the rush, Dad says. So we took matters into our own hands and crafted a shoe that might just do the trick. With the help of towering heels, extra flip-flop bottoms, and Gorilla Glue, we've possibly discovered the ultimate theme park hack. The video shows clips of parents putting these shoes together and their child wearing one at the end. Okay. Now,
I think these are the dumbest parents on the planet. I mean, it's one thing to do it, which is bad enough, but to make a TikTok video and be proud of it is beyond stupid.
Okay.
I don't understand this at all.
Out of all the rides, in particular at Epcot Center, Soarin', that's a dangerous one. I mean, I know we got some thrill rides there now.
Yeah, that ride scares you.
The Guardians of the Galaxy, that's an intense ride. We got Test Track. But Soarin', you're in this seat with this little tiny thing holding you in, and it depends on what row you're in. But you're high enough above the concrete that you could fall to your death from Soarin'.
Yeah, a little kid especially.
And the height requirement is to make sure that you will not fall out of the seat to your death. And these idiot parents are, this is really crazy. They're endangering the lives of a child.
Have they been banned by Disney? Because they should be.
Not yet that we know of.
They absolutely should be, because not only did they do that themselves, which is a major liability issue for Disney to have to worry about that, but they've encouraged other people to do it, which, this dangerous thing, which is just unreal to me. I can't get over it. How stupid. in their defense, they're, young people. They grew up on social media, so they think that
I don't know how
sharing
young they
every
are.
aspect
There's
of their life
parent-
is
they have-
perfectly normal.
They have more than
even
one
the
child.
even
yeah.
the dumb stuff. But, I'm curious to see how Disney will handle this. Now, they did delete the video and apologize.
Yeah.
First, they said it was a joke, but then they deleted the video. And, nothing on the internet goes away. It's always there forever. People take screenshots and stuff like that, or they'll talk about it. So I'm curious to see what will happen. But I don't understand their thinking this is cool.
TikTok people are not normal. Okay,
Well,
they do ridiculous. Now there's a trend that has come back at Disneyland. Now there used to be a thing on the Tower of Terror out there, which is no longer there, turning this Guardians of the Galaxy ride.
Well, the tower's there, but the theme's changed.
They changed the theming of the Tower of Terror to Guardians of the Galaxy. But back in the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror days in Disneyland, there were people that would try to take off their seatbelts to get a bigger rush falling. And this has come back. There's been a TikTok trend on the new version of it for the Guardians right out there to try to remove your seatbelt for the fall on the ride. And Disney's moved in and they're clamping down on some of that.
That's crazy.
But, TikTok is a poison place. These trends that people do, they start like wildfire. And, these two that we're talking about, though, they're very, very different. The making special shoes so your kid can beat the height requirements, which is dangerous. And these idiots that are trying to take their seatbelts off at Guardians out at Disneyland. Here's the thing. The idiots that are trying to take their seatbelts off are young people, mostly in their 20s, okay? And they're, your brain doesn't stop developing till you're 25, right? And what a lot of young people do, even when they're beyond that, they just want those views so bad. They want to hit that million views on TikTok, and they're taking their lives into their hands.
They want to go viral and get lots of clicks.
This thing with the shoes that's soaring, though, is much different. These aren't stupid kids doing it to themselves. These are parents who are putting their own child in such a situation, and it can encourage other parents that can get involved in this trend to do this with their children. That's a totally another.
Well, thank goodness people called them on it and had the sense of saying you're crazy and this is stupid. And thank God this has not become another TikTok trend in that sense, because they did delete it. And they were, I haven't looked up their TikTok account, and they were called out on it. But I'm curious what you guys think. Do you think Disney should ban that family permanently?
Oh, yeah.
I hate to punish the kids, but another thing that strikes me is the lesson they're teaching their children and want you to teach your children is that if you're not the right height, instead of waiting until you are and having something to look forward to, we're going to cheat and lie so you can get what you want when you want it. I remember being a kid and not being able to go on certain rides at Disney World in the early 70s when I was 4 or 5 years old. It was upsetting, but my parents said, too bad, wait till you're 8 years old and then you can go on it. And I did. And that's part of a life lesson in not getting instant gratification.
Mm-hmm.
And teaching your children to lie and cheat, to sneak onto a ride it's like taking your kid shoplifting.
Yeah,
it's so bad.
It is.
It's such a bad lesson.
It is
and
bad.
I don't think these are necessarily
Kathy,
bad people. They're just stupid.
It's like doing a TikTok video with your kids and telling them not to wear seatbelts, and then getting on the interstate highway or something. It's really
crazy.
If you went through with this. This is child endangerment.
Most
which is a
TikTok
crime.
trends are bad. Don't follow them. Think
That's
for
right.
yourself. Don't be a follower. And, use your common sense. I mean, that just blows my mind.
The thing with TikTok, okay, there's a lot of bad news TikTokers at the Disney theme parks. There was this one guy out at Disneyland who's still out there. And his big thing is, let me see how many rides I can get on at closing time. So he'll get in a ride with he'll get in the queue for a line seconds before park closing.
Yeah.
And you know how the rule goes at Disney. Hey, if you're in line and the park closes, you get on the ride. These cast members have been working all day. They got to work tomorrow.
In the heat, usually.
And everything else. And that's just a terrible, nasty thing to do. And
inconsiderate.
There's really very little good that comes out of TikTok. And that's just my view. Now, I went to Walt Disney World over the weekend, and I put up a vlog of the cast member preview of Tron. I went on Tron, and please go and watch the vlog, please. I know there's like 10,000 Tron vlogs, but I went up there and I did, and I did show some things that I don't think you've seen on the other vlogs. I show how the cast member preview works, how you get, when you show up and it's a cast member preview, what goes into getting on the ride. And let me tell you, they put those cast members through a lot to get on the rides at these cast member previews. I was shocked at how much they've got to go through. So you get to see that. And what I show on the vlog a lot is how intense Tron is. And if you go to our YouTube channel, you might be on there now listening, but if you're listening to us on a podcast platform, Main Street Moments on YouTube, it'll be the video right before this podcast. Go and check that out. I think you'll enjoy it. I will say this, though. The one thing I did not talk about in the vlog that I wanted to talk about here, we mentioned this on a past podcast, either last podcast or the one before that. Braden from Mickey Views pointed out something about the ride Tron, and he was so right on the money with this. And Braden is the first person and really the only person I've heard talk about this, and it's very obvious. I would have noticed this even if he had not said it. Tron has been 5 years in the making, and the canopy's been there for a while, and a lot of the supports have been there for a while. The ride does not look brand new.
Yeah.
The ride,
it's not really.
The ride looks like it's been in use for a few years. It really, really does. The canopy, the supports, some of the paints, there's a little rust here and there. That is true. It does not look, and we don't get brand new rides very often. And I'll tell you that if I were Bob Iger and I did a walkthrough right now, I would delay the opening of Tron and get some painting done in there. And I don't know what they can do about the canopy. I don't know if the canopy is designed to be replaced from time to time and how difficult that is, but the canopy is not looking like a brand new ride. And, this is the first new adult attraction, like major adult attraction at the Magic Kingdom in a long time. The last new attraction close to this would be the Mine Train.
In 2014.
Yes, that's like almost 10 years ago.
That's the last new ride
at
Magic Kingdom they've had.
And you know what? The Mine Train still looks brand new to me. When you're on that ride, not Tron.
Well, the problem with Tron...
It's not the Disney quality I'm used to.
Is it's white, like Space Mountain. So in Florida, if you have a white car in Florida, you're asking for trouble. It rains so much. In fact, we got our daughter a car a couple years ago. You'd found she has a Kia Forte, and you found a really nice white one. And you had said, we both agreed. I had a white car in high school, and I could never get it fully clean because it rains, and after a while you get stains, and they just won't come out of a white car. In Florida, it rains so much, and rain is dirty. Rain has dirt in it. It's not like clean, pure water. And especially in Florida, there's so many lakes and muck and all this stuff, and the Everglades and all this. That's where the rain's going to come from. So rain in Florida is not like, it leaves dirt and stains and stuff. So when you have a white canopy, it is an issue. Space Mountain, you can repaint and clean that, pressure clean. Okay. I guess they'd have, I don't know.
No, listen to this.
A canopy is more porous.
Yeah.
And it's a fabric. And it's going to absorb that dirt, and it's not something you can necessarily paint over or pressure clean away because it's going to absorb that dirt.
Well, okay. Now, what they've done to Space Mountain blew me away. I could not believe what they did to Space Mountain. Okay, now, they've been repainting Space Mountain, and a lot of people say they're repainting it because of the opening of Tron, and I guess that's true. And Space Mountain has been pretty dark, dingy, and stained.
For a while.
Like a lot of the monorail track, right? A lot of
it. Another white thing that needs to be painted.
Okay. The Space Mountain, the repainting of Space Mountain, it has not been painted white. It is not white. It looks like a white until you get up close to it. It's kind of a brown color. It's not a dark brown color.
Like tan, like beige?
It's not tan, it's not beige.
Gray.
it's not an off-white, but it's white, but it's also brown, and it's a light. It's a strange color, and they've done that because of the dirt there.
Maybe that's why they painted the castle. The castle used to be white with blue accents, and now it's like pink with blue. It's hard to keep things white in Florida. It really is.
Well,
they get
it wasn't
so
a
quickly.
problem before, and now they're doing these things. But
they don't want to maintain it, I guess.
But Tron, just tell you, I'm going to talk about a couple things I didn't get into on the vlog. Okay, so but please watch my vlog on Tron because the stuff I'm talking about now I didn't talk about on the vlog, and you won't want to miss it because I talked about how intense Tron is as a roller coaster, and please watch it. But so that's one thing. The ride does not look like a brand new ride on the outside, and that's a lot of it does, but a lot of it doesn't. Okay,
Right.
And the canopy and some of the supports and this new color. Those of you that have been to the Magic Kingdom recently, if you've noticed this, maybe in the comments you can describe the color of
That's
Space
weird.
Mountain. But it's a color that they've painted it so that it can get dirty and not be as noticeable as quickly. Okay, what they've done to Space Mountain. But a lot of Tron looks brand new, but a lot of it doesn't. And I'll tell you, there were two things about Space Mountain that I'm sorry. There's two things about Tron, other than it not looking new, and a lot of it that really shocked me. Okay, one of them, the locker room. That locker room with those light up locker buttons looks super cool on YouTube, and I'm here to tell you it does. But when you see it in person, it's not that spectacular.
Yeah.
It looks like the way I would describe it. It's dark in there, right? And the lights do look cool on the
video.
lockers. They
How
look
big
cool.
how big are the lockers?
They're like, they're not very big. They're tiny little lockers. You can,
Can you put like a purse or a tote
yeah,
bag?
yeah, you can. It's big enough for backpacks.
Oh, okay.
It looks cool on the outside when you're in person because you got the cool lights around it. It's very dark in there. But you look at the floor and the walls and everything, it also looks olden. It doesn't look brand new in the locker room, and it's not that nice or modern. It looks like a locker room and at a high school. It really is not like a gym locker room in high school. It does not look that spectacular.
And I saw
in person.
you used your annual pass card to open and close. How did that work?
The part of I don't know if this is true, but for me it worked. The part of the annual pass card where you got a little barcode thing on the back, that little square thing, you got to put that over the
Did they assign
number.
you the locker
You
number?
can pick any one you want.
Oh, you just walk up, and how do you know if it's being used or not?
Because if it's lit up, it's not being used.
It's not being used.
If it's dark, it's
and
being used.
Your pass card, I would imagine a Magic Band opens it too.
Yeah, but I don't wear a Magic Band. I just bring my
So Magic
annual pass
Band or a card would open it for you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
I use my annual pass holder card for everything, not a Magic Band, because you're in so much sun. I always got a tan line from my Magic Band, so I don't wear Magic Bands anymore. It's like ridiculous.
They're a little awkward to move your wrist in certain ways sometimes.
Yeah, I'm not into Magic Bands. That's a racket to get you to give
like
Disney
them.
more money.
But
The locker room area, I was very disappointed in it because it looked old.
Yeah.
And it looked kind of dingy.
Well,
and
you're right. The ride is just opening, but it's been being built for so long. It doesn't look new. It doesn't have that new car smell.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Now, the other thing, and I show a little bit of this on the vlog, but I referenced this in the vlog, but I wanted to talk about it more here because this really, really upset me. And I would have talked about. I show what I'm going to talk about on the vlog, so you can see this. I didn't talk about it in more detail because they were moving us along so quick. I couldn't stop to have a conversation about this. Okay. When you go on Tron and when it opens and everyone, it was cast member previews and some very good friends of ours are cast members and they invited me to the cast member preview and we had a great time. But right before you enter the actual building, okay, where you're going to be shrunk down in the world of Tron, there's a wall on your right side between Tron and Space Mountain. It's made of metal and it's filled with holes and you can see through it. It's completely pretty much transparent.
Right.
And
almost like mesh, I would say.
Yeah, but
Like
it's
a mesh
metal.
look.
But it's metal.
Yeah.
And I show this on the vlog, but this was very upsetting to me. And it's also part of the new trend at Walt Disney World. I don't know how this happened. Okay. The utilidors at Walt Disney World, for those that don't know what utilidors are, I think most people do, but if you don't, utilidors are what some consider to be the underground. You hear there's a basement at Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
It's not really a basement. We're in Florida. The basement really is the first floor, and the Magic Kingdom, where we all visit with all the attractions and walk down Main Street, is the second floor.
Yeah, we really don't have basements like south of maybe Ocala or something.
So it's
or
not
Tallahassee.
it's not a basement. It's the first floor, and everything we do is the second floor. Okay. The utilidor entrance to Magic Kingdom, like the main utilidor entrance, is in Tomorrowland, over by Space Mountain.
Right.
I've known this, and everything else. You can see it from Tron. You can see it right through the walkway. In fact, start looking. It's metal. When you have the light cycles that you can see if you fit on the ride. You see people do that. When you get past that, start looking on your right, and you'll notice it. You'll see a road, and that is the entrance to the utilidor, which everyone knows about the utilidors, the underground, the basement. People call it different things. There's always been a mystery about the utilidors, the underground at Disney. It's always been a big mystery. We all know it's there, but it's a mysterious place, and people always wonder, and cast members say it smells like garbage there, or you can find very few videos on YouTube about it. There have been a few television shows, not for a long time, but that have gone down there and shown a little bit of it. There's some videos on YouTube where people kind of snuck in and got some secret videos, but it's something that has been kept under wraps and kind of a secret because it's backstage. It's mysterious. This isn't just a backstage that you're seeing. You're seeing the entrance to the utilidors to the Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World, which has always been this big secret place that we as guests are never supposed to have any idea about, and they didn't even attempt to hide it, with Tron, and that is a very different. I don't understand how that happened. All the executives, the Imagineers, and everything. How was that allowed?
I don't know. Yeah, that's usually protected in secret.
Well, it's supposed to be mysterious.
Right.
There's this far off secret place underground
that you've heard about, but you never see.
And you'd be surprised. If you're a regular, I know if you're listening to this program, you're probably familiar with them, and you think everybody knows all about them. That's not true. I cannot tell you. Almost every time I take the monorail into Magic Kingdom and we go through the Contemporary, I still see kids like, "Wow, we're inside a building."
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know about it. It is, and a lot of people know about it but don't know too much about it. And for them to show at Disney a backstage area like that,
it's weird.
Is especially a utilidor backstage area. To me, is just weird. And
do you think people that see it know what it is? That see through that area?
Well, I guess if people like me start talking about it, more and more people will figure it out. But it might as well not even be there. The barricade, you can see it perfectly. It's like having a window.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand how that got through. It's a very easy fix. They could have just had a solid thing, not like mesh railing. I don't know why they felt the need to show that in that way. And since the ride's been into construction for 5 years, I can't believe it's just a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, Disney,
they just don't care.
There was always a little bit of mystique around that and mystery when you're going there, and especially when you're little, you hear about it and you're like, "Ooh, that sounds so cool." But when you see something like that and it looks so ordinary and you just kind of see it there, it's not as special.
No.
I think. But at Disneyland, we were watching a vlog there, and the cast members, they don't have the underground, and the cast members walk around in the park, which you don't see at Disney World. They walk underground. And maybe their thinking was, well, who cares? It's no big deal. They walk around Disneyland. Nobody seems to notice, so why even worry?
Walt Disney himself came up with the idea of
you
the
think
utilidors.
They care what Walt Disney thinks anymore?
And
they're long past that.
Walt Disney, and I know there's an old story that he saw somebody in a different costume in a different land. It didn't fit, and it messed up the magic and all that stuff. And I don't know how true that exact story is. But Walt Disney himself came up with the idea of the utilidor to preserve the magic
agree.
of the Magic Kingdom.
They don't seem to be into preserving magic as much as they used to. It's more about getting people in the park and making money. And I understand it's a business, it's a corporation. We all know they have to make money, but it seems to be that is more important these days than preserving the magic. Now, you saw Phantasmic for the first time in person, because we've seen many, many vlogs and live streams. And I always say to you, man, that looks like such a cool show with the steamboat and everything. And you saw it for the first time, and you told me they have 8,000 people.
Well,
they pack into. They should do concerts there.
Well,
they could have some cool concerts at that place.
Yeah, I've never seen Phantasmic. In fact, not only have I never seen Phantasmic, and I saw it on Friday. I've never even been back in that area before.
Where is it? Back by the tower?
It's behind the Tower of Terror.
Yeah.
I could not believe the size of this area.
Yeah.
And the number of people that fit into that theater.
Maybe they
is
do
insane.
have concerts and we just don't know, but I've never seen a concert.
I've never heard of it. They could have some bands up on those rocks.
Absolutely.
But I'll tell you, I've seen
put something out there to go on.
I've seen Phantasmic on Resort TV 1 probably 50 times, and it's cool. But watching it on YouTube doesn't do it justice. It's pretty cool. Those that.
Oh yeah, they got the fire and the.
Well, they're on this rock island out there.
Yeah.
And they're swinging around. It is really high up.
Yeah.
It is. I don't know how many feet up it is, but it is high.
It's just amazing. I know it's not built for shows now because people are going to leave comments. There's no stage. I understand that. But I'm surprised they built that area without building a stage. It didn't occur to them, you know what? We can seat 8,000 people here. We could have concerts here at night. We could bring in some acts, some like well-known acts to perform. A lot of bands would perform at 8,000 seat venues, and we could bring.
It's bigger than Eat to the Beat over there.
Yeah, a lot bigger. I'm just surprised they didn't think of that when they were building it, because it seems like such a huge area, and they only use it for this one thing that's only at night.
Seems a waste.
Yeah, exactly. Like they have the Indiana Jones thing where they seat a bunch of people to get them out of the foot traffic, to get them sitting in an area, and they do things like that at Disney. They have theaters and things where people can go in the middle of the day. I'm just surprised they didn't think of using it for other purposes.
Now, this is another thing with Phantasmic. Now, like I said, this was my first time at Phantasmic, and it did not even occur to me to even go. Our friends that we were with,
because you're not big into the shows.
No, I'm not big into it. Some of them are. I am, but I wasn't really that interested in seeing it. But the friends I was with, they said, "Hey, let's go see Phantasmic," and I was like, "Okay," and I'm glad we did. I really enjoyed it, and I'm this may have been this way with Phantasmic forever or for many years, but so many people are leaving. They filter you out in two directions, and half of us got filtered out, and we also went backstage at Hollywood studios and areas that it just messes up the magic. They took us behind, Hollywood Boulevard and everything, and we're in backstage, and there's dumpsters
and then
back
where'd you
there.
Go from
and
there? Did
we
you
went at the front of the park, and we were still inside the park, but barely. But they were seeing dumpsters and all kinds of things.
Yeah, that's weird.
And I know they got a lot of people, but it just seems to me that backstage used to be backstage. It was a like with the utilidors.
You never see it.
There was a mystery. You might get a glimpse here. You might get a glimpse there by accident. Somebody might come through a door and you'll say, "Oh, what's back there?" But this whole idea of showing guests backstage areas is contrary to so much of what Disney used to be about.
It makes it seem just like a theme park instead of a magical place. And like when you were on Tron, when you're an adult, you know what's what. But a little kid might see it and be like, and they might watch it and kind of be, it's kind of like, when they go to the mall and they see Santa Claus and then they realize, and they go and see this area and it's kind of like, oh, okay. Like it kind of does take away a little bit from the magic in that sense.
Now, there's a couple other things, though, that I did over the weekend that I wanted to talk about, which one in particular, for the very first time ever, I ate at the Brown Derby.
Yeah.
And I've never even been inside the Brown Derby.
That is the one restaurant that you can usually get a reservation at. I'm not sure why it doesn't book up more, because you said it was really good.
Well, let me tell you. I wouldn't go to the Brown Derby with children, okay? The Brown Derby, now I was with adults, there were no kids, all of us, our kids are all grown, but, there were four of us. But The Brown Derby is upscale.
Yeah.
And it's a place where, like, as an adult, you go to, you have dinner and a conversation.
It's like a replica of the LA restaurant of the same name.
Yeah, but I mean, it's an upscale restaurant. The
Right.
food is spectacular, and I would say it's an upscale restaurant, especially by Disney standards. It's a place where you go as an adult to have a nice dinner and a conversation. It's not a place you go with kids. Okay, we gotta eat. Everybody, get your order so we can go ride.
It's a place to
something.
sit and chill for a while and
Have a
relax.
nice dinner. And the food was spectacular. It's very nice in there, and it was not even half full. I mean, it was
Yeah, you can always get a
latitude.
reservation there. Whenever I look, there's always openings at that place.
And this was Friday night at dinner,
Yeah.
and the prices are not bad either. Now, there were 4 of us, and the other 3 all got the Cobb salad, which is supposed to be a big deal there. I'm not into
Yeah.
Cobb salad. I got the pork chop, and I had like a real dinner, And the food came quick, and I was like, "Oh, it came so quick. I'm not so sure. That's like, what is this, a cafe?" And the food was spectacular. It was
Yeah.
it was very high quality food. It was well done. It tasted great. And there were 4 of us, and I had a beer. Everybody else drank like iced tea or something. And the bill was 4 people, 4 adults, dinner, nice. We had a long dinner. It was it was under $150,
Wait, did they
something
only
dollars.
order salad? Or did they order dinner too?
No, they had as their entree, they had Cobb salad. It's a massive
and then
portion.
they ordered a meal.
No, they had the Cobb salad as their meal. It's massive, Kathy.
So wait, and nothing
It's
else.
massive. I get appetizers and stuff.
But did you get appetizers?
I did not get appetizers.
Did they?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, because I was going to say for 3
Yeah.
salads and a pork chop, $150 is a lot.
And a nice restaurant for 4 people. No. And
a
that
salad shouldn't
and
be more than $20.
the pork chop, this salad is massive.
I know they're famous for their Cobb salad.
And the pork chop was the biggest pork chop I've ever had in my life, and it was thick.
Yeah.
It was the biggest and thickest pork chop I ever had, and it was cooked perfectly, like by a chef.
And it's in a good location, right? When you walk in the park, it's right on Hollywood Boulevard. It's like right there, really centrally located. So if you eat there, you're not far off into the corners. You're pretty much kind of in the middle, right by the Chinese theater area.
We ate inside. I would not recommend eating outside. I would recommend eting inside
To get the full experience.
because it's so nice in there. It's a luxury restaurant. You don't
Yeah.
be outside in the heat on the sidewalk with people walking by with the no. It's really a hidden. I think the prices are so good there. I know that doesn't sound cheap. I understand, but when you're like at an upscale
For
restaurant,
Disney, though.
that's cheap for an upscale restaurant. I think the prices may be where they are because the place just isn't full. Maybe to try to attract people.
Or maybe people don't want to bring their children there, and most people are at Disney with children.
I wouldn't go with kids.
Yeah.
It's a waste with children.
Because I like at Hollywood Studios, my 2 favorite restaurants are the Sci-Fi Cafe or Sci-Fi Restaurant. That's my favorite. And
Yeah.
the
Mine
50s
too.
Diner. And the Sci-Fi is almost impossible to get into. You have to book months and months in advance. And the 50s prime time is a little easier to get into. I see openings there periodically. The Brown Derby is very easy. So you're recommending if you're adults only, and not meaning a triple X version, but just adult, no kids, that's a good restaurant to eat at and
Yeah.
definitely worth going to.
The Brown Derby would be a complete waste of time to take your children to.
They wouldn't appreciate it. And then they probably appreciate places with characters
Well,
and that are more like fun, like the Sci-Fi restaurants really fun.
You know what? The Brown Derby, I'll tell you what the deal is with the Brown Derby.
Yeah.
The Brown Derby is a place where, okay, I want to go out and I want to have a nice dinner. I want to hang out with some friends. Maybe I got a date. We don't want to be rushed. We're going to relax. It's just like you're going out to a nice dinner at a regular restaurant outside the parks. You go with the kids and everything. Okay, we got to pass at Runaway Railway. Everybody hurt. It's not that kind of place. It's a waste. But anyway, the Brown Derby at Hollywood Studios is really, really amazing.
And you stayed at the Dolphin, which you don't usually stay overnight, but you were planning on staying later in the evening and had a long day. And that was the only hotel room we could get on Disney property around $300. And you do have a vlog coming out on that. But you like the place. We've never stayed there. That's a great location, the Dolphin and the Swan. Great location.
The thing about staying at Disney, and I know everybody's got their own thing. I like to stay on Disney property when I'm there and staying.
Yeah, I do too.
Because if you're staying off property, it's always a crapshoot. You don't know what you're going to get. You could have a great experience or you could have a bad experience. And I've stayed at offsite hotels that are very nice hotels, but then I go to bed and then the air conditioner is leaking water in the room all night.
Well, plus you have the benefit of being on property where you can just take the Disney bus or walk to or take a boat, and you don't have to worry about driving.
So when we made our reservation for me to go up to to ride Tron on Friday, the only Disney hotel I could get a room at was the Port Orleans, and it was $400. And if by myself,
that's without tax.
That's crazy. I mean, if it was like you or me, or if we had a whole family, I'd be okay. But just me by myself, that seems like irresponsible. And the only on-property hotel we could find that was really significantly less than that was the Dolphin at $300, which is crazy. I'm embarrassed to tell you I paid $300.
But you said the rooms were bigger than typical Disney rooms.
Well, it's an old hotel. That's probably why. The room
Disney
was pretty big.
rooms are small.
The room was pretty big.
Well, it's built by a different company. It's like Marriott or something. So they do have larger rooms. So, that's probably a good option if you want to be on property, get a larger room, and it's a little less money. The Dolphin or Swan seems like a good option.
Well, I made a vlog of the Dolphin, which I'll put up on our channel soon, and you guys can watch it and let me know what you think about it. I'll stay there again. It wouldn't be my go-to hotel, but it'll be like a fallback, like if we can't,
Why not your go-to?
Because it's $300 a night.
Yeah, but that's cheaper than most Disney hotels.
How much is
days.
Pop Century these days?
If you can get a reservation, maybe $250. It depends on the time of year. Those you have to book away in advance. The Pop is the most popular of the value resorts. Maybe off season you can get it for $175 if you're lucky. Obviously it's cheaper if you go during the middle of the week. Weekends are going to be more money. Yeah. So, that's the issue here.
I'm not really very happy that they refer to like Pop and those as value resorts.
Well, they're not value anymore. For sure.
There is no longer a value resort.
I agree with
Walt
you on
Disney
that.
World.
Yeah, they don't exist anymore.
No, and it's really a shame. I wish.
And those rooms are tiny. If you stay at Pop, now they refurbished them all. They look nice. They're very modern and minimalistic. We've stayed at the Pop since they refurbished it. I think we stayed at another one. But those rooms are small. If you got 3 or more people, it's doable. They have the Murphy bed, which is cool. But those are not big rooms.
That's the bed in the wall?
Yeah. I mean, that's cool. And, a lot of families stay there. I get it. It's the most affordable. But just be aware, they're not large rooms.
No. But the Dolphin, the room was pretty big. Okay, so I found a story about Space Mountain, I just found this as we were talking, so I have not read it. It's about the new paint job, okay? And this is in Blog Mickey. It says, Space Mountain is dropping the light blue trim paint scheme for a tan trim instead.
Oh, the trim under the white is tan.
That is true, but the white part is not true white. The white part is
like
a little
darker white.
It's like a brown. It's like a light brown. Yeah. It's a mix, and I'm just not happy about it. This wasn't a problem years ago. They put the tan trim on. See, let me tell you, these Imagineers are smart people, right? Even though they're showing the Utilidor entrance, they put the tan trim on Space Mountain so that the part that's normally white doesn't look tan.
Right.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
And it does trick the eye a little bit.
It does. I'm looking at the picture now, and I put this in our Facebook group, Main Street Moments on Facebook. I put the article, and I'm so used to seeing, what was it before, blue?
It was blue. The trim was blue, and the building's
that shows
white.
A lot of dirt. Mm-hmm. So this tells me that they painted it to cut down on that. I don't know how I feel about it. It's different. It's not ugly, but it's different.
Yeah.
It just does not
Well, you know what it is, Kathy? It's lazy.
You think so?
It's lazy.
I kind of like the blue better. It's just a little more futuristic looking.
Yeah.
I don't mind it, or maybe they just think it's a more modern look.
Yeah. Well, listen, guys, make sure you go to our YouTube channel, Main Street Moments on YouTube. Check out my Tron vlog. And what I talk about in my Tron vlog is how intense as a roller coaster is Tron, and no one else has done any vlogging on that. In fact, because I looked for it before I went because I didn't want to do something everyone else was doing. So go and check that out. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. We'll We'll see you next time.